What's going on, everybody? It is the most hardest working man in YouTube right now. It's me, Heroes Gaming, coming at you guys with highlights from week 1, 2, and 3, where we played Hawaii, USF, and Oklahoma State. Now, there is one trend that you guys are going to see from these 3 games. That is, we play good in the first half, and then we played terrible in the second half. In Hawaii, we were up 14-0 in the first quarter. And then come the second quarter, Hawaii runs off 24 points against us. And our defense is just really not good enough to stop anybody. We can't stop anybody in the air. It doesn't matter what team we're going against. It doesn't matter what quarterback we're going against. We just don't have the personnel to consistently stop quarterbacks in teams when they're losing against us. It's almost like it's better. It's almost like it's better if we're losing or we're down in the game, or maybe we're just up 3. And that's a great run by Hardy. He had some great games in these 3 stretches of games, to where in the game against Oklahoma State, I had to start him because he was really showing out and showing that he deserved to be a starter. So we made him a starter in the Oklahoma State game. But yeah, we can't stop anybody, and it shows when we're winning. And then our secondary is just really not good enough. And in the game against Hawaii, we allowed their quarterback, Demarius, I can't really say his first name, but Davis. Demercius Davis. That's how you say his name. Words are hard, you know. He's a sophomore, and he's an 81 overall quarterback, and we allowed him to throw for 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a long of 80. And he completed. He didn't really have a good completion percentage. I guess it's normal, but 63 completion percentage, but 18.32 yards to catch. So we were allowing passes to get to the second and third level of the defense, which means our pass rush wasn't that good. And they were doing whatever, their offensive line was doing whatever they wanted to do. And our defense it's just really not good. Our corners aren't good. Our safeties aren't good. And just like this, we give up a bomb down the field in one play. When it's bad, it's bad. When it rains, it pours on our team. And when that happens, we can just never recover. It's almost like the offense is just defeated. There are a couple of times in these games where it would be third down, maybe like 3rd down and 4 or 3rd down and 5, and the quarterback throws the ball, David throws the ball, and it's just like thrown off target, whereas overthrown, thrown at the receiver's feet or behind the receiver. And it's so deflating for offense. And then we miss a field goal. Once we missed that field goal, it was just even more downhill from there. We were in the lead, but once we missed that field goal, Hawaii said, all right, no more games. We're going to take this ball down the field. We're going to score, and there's nothing you can do about it, and we're going to win. And when they did. But, once we have things like that, it's so deflating, and it makes us feel like we can't do anything, which we can't, because our offense is limited. And Hawaii is going to run the ball down the field. They're going to drive the ball down the field with 39 seconds left, and then they're gonna heave it up in the corner of the end zone, and the receiver's gonna jump up and grab it. With 29 seconds left to go in the game, they're going to take the lead, and then they're gonna unfortunately walk away with the win because we tried to make a comeback, but there's really nothing we can do with the team that we have. We can't throw the ball downfield. We try to make a comeback, but we're just going to end up throwing an interception. And that's just going to be the story of these games here. We're going to play really good defense in the first and second quarter, and sometimes even in the third quarter. And then it's not even wear and tear. It's not even fatigue. It's just our player skill and the players we have on the team. They're just not good enough. And he goes for 345 and 4 touchdowns. And it's just our player skill. We're just not good enough. We are a 57 overall team. And some of these teams are rated in the 60s. But then when we go against them, it feels like they're like rated in the 70s and 80s because they feel that much better than us. And we only lost by 3, but it feels like we lost by way more than that. The way they just came back in the second half and took control. And I said we're a 57 overall team. I lied. We're a 54 overall team, so we're even worse. But nonetheless, you know, they came back, they won, and we were so defeated. I didn't know what to do with the team. We're so limited to what we can do in offense, so we just had to go and face USF in the next game.
Welcome to Tampa, Raymond James Stadium, and while it is indeed home to the 2021 Super Bowl champion Buccaneers, it is also the home field for the USF Bulls and the clash that we have in store today. We've got a sensational matchup for you. Fans have been filing in and getting ready for this game, as we'll see a team from the Pac-12, a team ready to put on a show, taking on a team from the playoff a year ago, the South Florida Bulls. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys,
here we are in Tampa, where I used to live for 4 years, back in from 2007 to 2011, when USF was actually a top 10 team back then. They were, you know, beating everybody, catching everybody by surprise, and you know, they're a top 10 team. They were good, and then they haven't been good since. And here we are going against them thinking, you know what? They're not a good team. And let's see if we can come away with the win. And as always, like I said, play really good defense in the first quarter. I mean, in the first quarter, we played great defense. They are a no-huddle team. And they were very, very difficult to face. Because even if they would gain 1 yard or 2 yards, they would just hop right back in the no huddle as if they just got a first down. And that was so difficult. But I've started to quickly learn, hey, let's not throw the ball downfield. Let's not throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. And let's keep control of the clock. And here we are, we punt the ball and it hits one of the USF players and we get it back, and then we're going to score a touchdown. Strickland goes in there for 6. But I said to myself, let's try and keep control of the ball, run the ball, and see if we can come away with the win. But as always, the secondary, the defense, just there's a term, bend but don't break, and that is a great throw. We ended up challenging that, but we didn't win the challenge, and they didn't overturn it, and they kept the touchdown. But there's a term, bend but don't break. Our defense bends and bends and bends, and then they still break. What a block there by the right guard. But we bend, and then we still break. And I try my best to put the defense and my teammates in the best position to win. And sometimes I do that, and I think, okay, this is really, really good. And then they go and just throw the ball over our heads for like an 80-yard touchdown. And I'm sitting here in cover 3 playing over top coverage, and their receivers just run. What a mean hit. And the receivers just still run past my cornerbacks like they're not even there. It is frustrating. But that's the troubling times that we're gonna have to go through with this program, because we're still a new program. We're only in the second season. We won 1 game last season, and I don't know if we're gonna win a game this season. The best chance we had to win a game this season was these first 3 games against Delaware, Hawaii, and here in USF. And we have a tough schedule coming up. We have USC, who's ranked number 5, Colorado, who's 3-0 right now, Oregon State, Arizona State, UCLA, who's ranked 3-0, who's ranked 17th and they're 3-0, then Arizona, who's 2-0, California, and we're going to end it out in Utah, who's ranked 19 and they're 3-0. So USF is definitely going to be a ranked team when we play them. And we're probably going to have at least 2 or 3 more ranked teams to play. And this was the only good outcome of this USF game, was Hardy taking off for, I think, an 80-yard rush here for a touchdown. And I'm going to end up starting him in the next game versus Oklahoma State, because he gives us a bit of a burst of speed coming out the backfield versus Strickland, who's more of a power rusher, and his speed is only like a 84, 85, and Hardy has a 89, 90 speed, great acceleration and change of direction. So we need that athleticism coming out the backfield, because we don't have it in any of our receivers. So that's a change that I made going into the Oklahoma State game, and it worked out. And we did a great job running against Oklahoma State. But this USF game, it was very close in the beginning, and then they just did what they wanted to do at the end. And their quarterback threw for 4 touchdowns, completed 73% of his passes. And David, he only threw for 176 yards in an interception. And it's hard to throw the ball. It really is, because we can only dink and dunk down the field. If we want to have a long drive down the field, or we want to have any type of drive down the field, we are not the team that can just chuck it downfield for like 30, 40 yards. Not even 20 or 15. It has to be 10 and under. It has to be curls, slants, drag routes, or outs or ins. Routes like that. That's what this team is built to do right now, until we get better athletes committed to our team or through the transfer portal. Right now, we're very limited, and it's showing, because it sucks.
Welcome to Boone Pickens Stadium, Stillwater, Oklahoma, home to the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Pistol Pete, ready to start firing those pistols for the battle we have in store. We've got a terrific matchup for you today, rich in pageantry and tradition, and it ought to be a fantastic clash. As we'll see a squad from the Pac-12, a crew looking to make a statement, taking on a team from the Big 12, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by Dave.
Now here we are in Oklahoma State, and for a good while, I would say for the entire first half, mainly the first quarter, we played top tier awesome defense. You think our defense would have been rated somewhere in the high 80s or 90s, and Oklahoma State could not do anything with the ball. No one scored in the first quarter, and I thought to myself, maybe, and then we go and throw an interception here in the second quarter. But, I was still thinking maybe if we keep getting stops, we can hang in there and make an upset. And then here we go again, playing more great defense, and we knock the ball down, but they call us for defensive pass interference, and when it rains, it pours. Been playing great defense, it rains, it pours, and they just go down the field, and we get a sack here. Like I said, playing very good defense, and we force them to kick the field goal. But like I said, it's very difficult for us to do anything, and that was a very lucky throw. It's very few and far that we get a ball completed downfield, but we're doing a really good job against Oklahoma State. I was throwing the ball. I felt like I was throwing the ball a little bit too much, but there's a touchdown throw by David. I felt like I was throwing the ball a little bit too much in the beginning, and I had to reel it back a little bit. I had to say, hey, remember your bread and butter. You started Hardy at the running back position. You have to use him. He's a very good running back. And here we are. We're actually winning 14-10. And right at the end of the third quarter, they get all the way down to the 1 yard line. And we're going to move our way into the fourth quarter. And this is where things get interesting. They go off and they just do what they want to do. As any other team, they go off and they score 21 points in the fourth quarter. They take the lead, and then at this point, they just never look back. We tried our best, but at the end of the day, it's just another team that's better than us, and it's really nothing we can do. Like I said, we can't really do much down the field, dink and dunk, and just plays like that, 4th and 4, 3rd and 4, and, we can't come away with the completion, and then they come the very next play, they chuck it downfield for the touchdown, and at that very moment, the team just felt very deflated. Very deflated. We couldn't complete a 4-yard pass, and then they chuck it downfield for one pass for a touchdown. And I said to myself, I'm going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do what we need to do. And at this point, I said, you know what? It's 4th down. I'm going to take the field goal. We're only down by 7. Maybe we can get a stop. We've been playing somewhat great defense. And lo and behold, our cornerback, Mills, gets an interception. Our cornerbacks finally do something, and we get an interception, and we get a stop with 5 minutes left to go in the game. And then I said, I am running the ball down their throats until they stop us. I have 3 running backs. I'm going to use all 3 of them and make them stop us. Until they stop us, I'm running the ball. And they didn't stop us. We ran the ball all the way down the field. And then we're even going to score a touchdown. And we're going to tie the game up. It is a tie game right now in Stillwater with 3 minutes left to go. And Highland is right there. They're right there for the win. And they said, you know what? We can run the ball too. And that's what we're going to do. And a mean spin move by their running back. And he kept hitting us with spin moves left and right. He ran for 98 yards and a touchdown. And he was difficult to stop. They were doing whatever they wanted to do in this drive. And we couldn't stop them. And here they are again, throwing the ball down the field. Can't stop them, playing over top coverage, but they're just way faster than us. And then another run all the way down to the second. And then here is an option play, and they score, and they take the lead. And there's nothing we can do about it. We try our best with a minute and a half to get down the field, but we can't do it. And then they come away with the win. Another great performance by an opposing quarterback's 288 yards and a touchdown. And it's just, we can't do anything. He has 78 completion percentage. And we're going to have to do something on defense. I don't know what we're going to have to figure out, but we're going to have to figure out something to turn this defense around, because we're entering conference play. And those are the 3 or 4 easiest games that we're going to have all season. It only gets harder from here. But I'm up for the challenge, and I know you guys believe in me, and we're going to make this program a really good team. So I thank you all for watching the highlights. And as always, I see you guys next time. Have a good day.